Hey everyone, Sheree here. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be creating another spread in my Felicity Jane A5 notebook. So throughout this year I've been adding one spread each month into this notebook, and this is just things that I love, things I'm doing right now, and things I want to remember. So I've done up until August, so you may have seen the process video for that one. Today I'm going to work on September, so I've only got a few months to go, and this is getting quite chunky and full, but I'm really loving this little project I've set myself. Alright, so I do like to create my pages outside the notebook and then stick them in at the end. It just allows me to add things like stitching and staples and that sort of thing. So I do have a full-sized photo here for one of my pages about these beautiful flowers my husband sent me. And then I've got a blank white piece of Felicity Jane Essentials white cardstock, which is cut to the same size, and they're going to be the bases for my pages. So I'm primarily using the Emily kit from Felicity Jane for this one, but I do have a little bit of Capri and the June kits as well. So I'll just quickly run through what I've picked out here to use for this spread today. So I've got this card here with the lines on it. This is from the June designer tags set. Absolutely love this one. I'm going to use this for my journaling. And I have printed my journaling out already ready to use. So to do that, I've printed it out just using my computer and printer on normal printer paper, and I decided I wanted this to be printed on vellum. So I've just stuck a piece of vellum over the top. So I printed it first, stuck my vellum over the top with some washi tape, and then I ran that through my printer again, and it's printed perfectly onto that vellum. So that's ready to use. I also have this piece of the solid color cardstock with the scalloped edge. That's from the June paper pack. And you can see all these flowers here. These are all cut from the floral paper from the Emily kit. So I'll just grab it. So this is the piece here. So as you can see, I've really gone to town on it this month, cutting out lots of flowers. So I've got 3 of these white ones. Some of them are from the edge of the paper, which is totally fine for what I'm planning on using these for today. I've got 2 of those pink ones with the yellow ones attached. I've got that rust colored one there, and a couple of smaller ones as well that I've cut out. So I've got those there ready to use. This little love word is from the Capri die cut shapes pack. So I've got that one there, planning on something for that one. I have got the Mari stamp set. There's a couple of little phrases I'd like to use from that. I'm going to use a yellow label from the Essentials label stickers #1. Love these. So I've got those as well. I've got these puffy shapes or puffy stickers from the Capri kit, and this story word I'm going to use as part of my title. For the other half of my title, I'm using the Emily puffy alphabet stickers, and I've already got those here, just a little piece of acetate there, so that's going to make up my title. I've got a couple of other bits and pieces here from the Emily kit to use as well. Little chipboard flare there, and this #9 ticket, I might use that as well because it's a September spread. Okay, I think I'm ready to make a start, so I might pop you on fast forward and get right into it. Okay, so to start off with, I'm just taking that vellum off of that printed sheet, and I'm going to grab my trimmer and cut this one down so that it's going to fit nicely inside that lined cardstock designer tab on the left there. So it does just need a little bit more trimmed off each edge, and then that'll be a nice fit. So what I'm going to do now is get rid of my trimmer and grab my sewing machine, and I'm going to attach that to that designer card by stitching it into place, and I'll also stitch a border around that white cardstock page while I'm at it. So that is done. I can now adhere that to the yellow piece that I've pre-cut, and then I'm going to actually grab all of my fussy cut flowers and arrange them on that background cardstock. So I'm just going to play around with the placement here, try to get a nice arrangement. I've got 3 of those white flowers, so I'm trying to sort of put them in that visual triangle, and then my journaling is going to go in the center. So I'm just making a few adjustments to get a nice amount of each flower peeking out from behind, And now that I'm happy with that placement, I'm going to go ahead and stick those down onto the cardstock there. So I'll work my way around each of those flowers, and then I can attach my journaling to the center of the page. So I'm just eyeballing it, getting it into the center as best I can. And now I have those smaller flowers as well that I'm going to arrange around the outside edge of this floral cluster. I do also have that number 9 ticket that I wanted to tuck just under that left hand side. So I'm going to add some double-sided tape to that and just tuck that in underneath, and then I'll keep going with adhering those tiny flowers into place. So next up, I'm working on my title. I've got the word "this" using those little puffy alpha stickers from the Emily kit, and now I've got that story puffy sticker that's just going onto the top of my journaling card there, just working out the placement before I stick it down. And to add the word "this," I'm using my tweezers to stick each of those letters down onto the page. Just makes it much easier to see where you're placing each letter. Alright, I did add a little puffy asterisk also to the top edge of that story word, and now I'm moving on to doing a little bit of stamping using 2 phrases from the Mari stamp set. I put them both onto my block at the same time just to save a little bit of time, and now I can cut those out ready to use. So the one that said "all the feels," I'm actually going to adhere that across the bottom of the Y in my title. So I'm just adding a little bit of 3D or foam tape under each end, and that will allow it to sit on the page really nicely over the top of that puffy sticker. So I'm really happy with how that one looks over the top there. So that's looking good. I'm now moving on to the full page photo. I'm just adding a yellow label sticker to the bottom there. And now I'm going to create a little cluster on that label. So I do want to add a little bit of stitching first. I'm just grabbing my sewing machine, add a row of stitching, and now I can go ahead and create that little cluster. So I do have a chipboard flare, the floral one from the Emily kit. I've got that love word from the Capri die cut shapes pack, and then I've got my other stamped phrase that says my favorite, and I'm going to add that there as well. So I just want to play around with the placement. I want that my favorite stamped piece to be sitting just above the stitching on that label. I didn't want to cover the stitching up, so that's looking good now. I'm going to add that chipboard flare to the left side, and I'm also going to add the date just under the scalloped edge of that yellow paper. To finish off, I'm going to add a little pink puffy heart to that love word, and now this is done. I can give you a closer look at all the little details here, and I'm really happy to have this lovely memory in my A5 notebook. So I can go ahead and now stick that into my notebook and call it a day. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I put this one together today. Please let me know if you've got any questions. Just pop it down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I look forward to bringing you another Felicity Jane project very soon. Thank you so much for joining me today. Enjoy the rest of your day.